www.washburnreview.org.
Hi, and welcome back to KS Food News. I'm Protasio, and joining us today is Tricia Peterson. She's one of the chefs of Two Chefs Catering, and today she's going to be cooking ramen noodle stir fry for us. So Trish, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about why you wanted to cook for us today.
Well, I know students have a hard time, staying within budget and that sort of thing, and finding something good to make, when they have a lot of homework and stuff like that. So I picked something really easy that any student can make, even in the dorm.
Okay. All right, Chef, could you tell us a little bit about the ingredients used to make ramen noodle stir fry?
All right, well, we always have the light sodium soy sauce, sriracha chili sauce, which really any hot sauce will work, but I like sriracha. Rice wine vinegar, it gives it that good Asian flavor. And then sesame oil is a must. You don't want to use too much though. More than a tablespoon will probably just taste really bad. And then honey for a little bit of sweetness. Most of the time I cut up my own vegetables, but I figure you don't have time or the space to cut up your vegetables, so I also use the frozen ones. Then we got some cornstarch, which I'll throw on my chicken thighs, which I use chicken thighs because they're a little cheaper and they have more flavor. And then, of course, we have our ramen noodles, which we won't use the flavoring packet, we'll just use the noodles. I went ahead and boiled mine already, so you have those ready to go before you start your stir fry.
Okay, Chef, so what are some of the first things that you do to start off?
Well, most chicken thighs come whole, so you need to slice up your chicken thighs. I'd say, I don't know, about a quarter, half inch. Don't really matter. You can even cut them up into chunks if you want. So then you just add a little bit of cornstarch and toss it together. And that adds a little bit of thickening to the sauce later.
And how much did you say you roughly added?
Oh, about 2 tablespoons. I have about 5 chicken thighs here. And then you want to get your pan nice and hot before you add your oil or your chicken. Alright, so we add about a tablespoon of oil. And then I add a little bit of vegetable oil because sometimes it's not enough, but if you add too much sesame oil, it's way overpowering. And you want enough oil to fry up your chicken a little bit. Ready? And then be careful because it could pop you. And they'll stick together at first, but they'll come apart as you cook them, so don't worry about that. On our chicken, I'm going to go ahead and make our sauce. So we need 1 tablespoon of rice wine vinegar, 3 tablespoons of honey, and I use local honey. A little extra. I like honey. 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. And then 1 tablespoon of sriracha. And you can always do less if you don't like spice.
So Trish, tell us a little bit about your catering company.
Well, Two Chefs Catering is owned and operated by my husband and I, Ryan Peterson. We started about 3 years ago, catering just for family and friends mostly, but we started to take more and more clients that we don't really know as a friend or family. And it's just the 2 of us. We like to work with people on what they like. Most people, we have a website that kind of shows what we can do and all that, but it's not limited to that. We like to do small parties and big parties. So once the chicken gets pretty much browned on the outside, but not, you see that it's still not all the way done. It still kind of looks pink a little. You don't want it to be all the way done because you're still going to cook it longer and you want it to stay moist, I guess. All right, so then you add your vegetables and your noodles, which kind of seem to stick together. You can just pull them apart like that. They'll get sauce on them and spread out. So then you saute these up a little bit for a little bit longer until your vegetables thaw out. And you add your sauce, so that'll thicken. Now if you don't want to make your own sauce, I would recommend just buying a sauce. This stir-fry sauce is really good and it was only about $2. You don't even have to use the whole thing. I'd say half of a cup, maybe, depending on how much you're making. And that way you don't have to buy all these small things of sauce and mix your own. It's much easier. And they sell all different kinds of flavors too. Kung Pao chicken, sweet and sour, that kind of stuff. Alright, now once your vegetables are all thawed out, it should be done. Your sauce will thicken up a little bit. Some ramen. And this will get you a couple meals too. There's a lot here. And it's good for leftovers.
Now what kind of vegetables do you like to use personally?
I like snap peas, broccoli, carrots, and red bell pepper. If I was to do them on my own, that's what I would do. So for under $7, you can have a lovely home-cooked meal.
Alright, I'm going to give this a try now. I'm excited for this. This is really good.
And it's easy.
Yeah, I'm glad this is my plate. It's really good. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate this.
Yeah, and thanks for having me.
Well, I'm hungry now. So Tricia also has a blog called Tasting Topeka, where she goes around to different restaurants in Topeka and other parts of Kansas and blogs about her experience and the food she tries. You can follow her on Twitter by searching for her Twitter handle @criticofcuisine. Coming up,